LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it. Good morning, everybody. Hi, everybody. It is Tuesday. As we were just saying over on our TikTok live, it is snowing in London. It suddenly started to snow. It's great to see you all. We had a bit of a break yesterday. I forget why. Oh, I had a call. It was my fault. But we are back. So we are here to give you the daily AI news. Shen and myself have picked a story and we're just here to chat about it in a casual way over coffee. I've actually finished my coffee. I've made a strategic mistake, but we're going to have a chat about what's going on in the world of AI, what we think is interesting, and generally keep everyone up to date. So how are you doing, Shen?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I was just at an award ceremony last night, but rushed home the minute my category was announced. I didn't win, but glad I was there. Three-course meal, saw some friends, so I'm feeling good.
That sounds an awful lot like they announced the winner and you didn't win and you just left in a huff. You're like, well, screw you guys.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, I'm at a live tomorrow, so I I had an excuse.
But if you'd won, you probably would have stayed.
If I won one more category.
Well, I'm sure it was fun. Was that in London?
Yeah, I'm also at the not the British Library this afternoon. So I have a legit reason. I'm doing a workshop there. So just
Oh,
in
for the
case
British
anyone
Library.
from
That's
GBA
awesome.
is listening.
That's always the problem of doing lives like this. I actually got recognized the other day on Saturday. Somebody said, "Oh, hey, I know you from TikTok." That total stranger. This is always going to
Celebrity.
hardly, but but they're like, "I love your videos." Like, oh God, it's a bit embarrassing
Love
because
that. That's so
I'm a very private
cool.
person. But yeah, unfortunately, this kind of thing's going to happen, I suppose. Right. So AI news for today. Do you want to kick off with your piece or with mine? Up to you.
Let's
I
kick
have
off
an
with yours.
Cool. I have an AI granny scam beta. This is actually from last week, but I thought it was a really cool story. Basically, there's a telephone company in the UK called O2, and they have created an AI that will engage with scam callers. So people who call you and try and get your bank details or try and get you to perform certain actions. They're a bit of a plague in the UK. I'm sure this is global, but whenever I get a call from an unknown number, I know it's going to be a scammer, and it happens a couple of times a day, and it's extremely annoying. What this company's done is they've created an AI which sounds like and acts like a granny, basically a grandmother, who will just talk to the scammers. I've actually got a video that I'm going to play. Have you seen this video? Because I'll
I
share it.
have. I
You have.
have.
I'm going to play it on our on the main stream because I think it's worth seeing. Hopefully, we won't get copyright claimed. It's only a minute.
If you want all your savings are gone, but I can help you.
Do you want to lose all your money?
If you want to resolve the matter.
7 in 10 Brits have been targeted by scammers. And it's not just our grandparents. I was one of them. But this film isn't about getting scammed. This is about getting even. Meet my friend, Daisy.
Hello, scammers. I'm your worst nightmare. I'm an AI created by O2 to waste phone scammers' time. So W's then a dot.
3 times W and then dot.
I think your profession is bothering people, right?
I'm just trying to have a little chat.
It's nearly been an hour. For the love of...
Gosh, how time flies. It's showing me a picture of my cat, Fluffy.
It's showing you a picture of your cat, Fluffy.
Stop calling me dear, you stupid.
So you get the idea. Basically, they've created this tool which will engage with scam callers, and the whole purpose of it is to tie up their time, because every minute spent talking to this artificial intelligence is going to save
Waste their time.
Yeah, it's going to be wasting their time. It's going to save a real person from actually being scammed. So I think it's a really cool application of AI. What I have found fascinating about it, though, is a lot of the time in the public perception, a lot of people are very negative about AI. And this is a project that I've seen suddenly people are coming out onto YouTube comments, are coming on social media saying, wow, finally a good use of AI. So like just on this YouTube, for example, I just put it up here. One of the best uses of AI I've ever seen. This needs much more advertisement. Here we go. Well done, brilliant. About to improve the company image. I like winding scammers up. This is a great use of AI. It just goes on and on and on. Like, people are actually very, very positive about this, which is great. Obviously, we love to see a bit of positivity instead of the normal doom and gloom about artificial intelligence. However, I think the really important thing that people might be missing is that scammers are going to be using this technology too. So this is a very public use of AI, and it's been funded by O2, a large company. It's got a celebrity, I don't know who she is, I'm really sorry, who was in the video talking about it. I think she's from Love Island, or I'm a celebrity, whatever. So it's going to be a very public, very visual use of artificial intelligence. But what we're not seeing is the fact that scammers are going to be using very, very similar tools, and it's going to allow them to do a lot more robocalling and to have the same technology as O2 have, but using it for nefarious means.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna build myself one. Because I get these calls all the time, like pretty much all the time. I get messages as well, but yeah, it's quite
Do you actually pick up the
it's
phone? Because I don't pick up my phone now because of this.
it
I just assume it's
depends.
a scammer.
I actually, with my business phone, I pick it up
Mm,
just in case, but then I can tell quite, right away, if like it's a scam or not.
mm, mm, mm.
But yeah, just be careful as well. If they ask for your credit card details or click a link, don't do it. Just don't do it.
Which I think most people know, but with scam calls, it's a volume game. They're just going to call 100, 1,000 people, as many people as they can, knowing that
Yeah.
one or two people is all that they need for, to be able to empty out someone's bank account. And I think that these AI tools, I think the important thing here is that AI is a tool, and people's opinions and people's emotions about artificial intelligence shouldn't be swayed necessarily by the application that we're seeing at this particular moment. So people seeing this AI granny and they're like, yeah, this is great. This is a great use of AI. I love AI. But that's just a positive use of the tool that they happen to like. Whereas there are going to be negative uses as well. And again, it's just a tool that can be used for different purposes. I think that's probably the big takeaway here. And I'm not sure how much people are thinking about that. Instead, they're just looking at this video, which is funny and amusing. But I think the larger point is that it can be used for good, it can be used for bad, and that's why it's so important that we educate ourselves around AI.
I just wanna address a comment here saying we don't
Mm.
see or hear anything. I hope it's not.
Well, that
Well,
was
I
on
hope you can see us.
that's on TikTok.
All
Sorry,
right.
that was the so on TikTok they weren't able to see the screen, unfortunately. The only way I can do that is by buying a PC and not using a Mac. It's all very confusing. TikTok's
Okay.
a little old-fashioned in that sense. Sorry, TikTok.
Anyway, I've had many conversations like these when we were
Mm,
just Launch Lemonade, and we were trying to conduct market research with non-tech users. So what we found with non-tech users is that they have very high expectations, or well, this was last year. They had very high expectations of what AI can do, like it's gonna do everything, or
mm,
they
mm,
just thought that it were chatbots on websites. And so they were unimpressed with chatbots on websites. They were like, well, we've seen this everywhere. What can that really do for customers? Can I get that easily now? And then they were
mhm.
like, when they tried it out, they were like, oh, this isn't solving my life yet. Like, I'm not, like, my life hasn't changed. It's just, it's not doing much. And a lot of like the negative PR, and rightly so, came out about AI, like deep fakes and scams and whatnot. And so now we've got this like really bad impression of this, as you call it, tool.
Mhm.
So I've had a lot of conversations about, well, like it's not that good and it's being used for bad. Like this is evil. It's taking away jobs. It's taking away jobs. It's bad. Blah blah blah. But the point that I always make is that the same happened with the internet. The same happened with like cars. The same happened with printing press. It's not it's not about the tool itself, but it's about the people who use it. Like there will always be bad people and there will be good people, and it really depends on how these people use the tool to scale what they do.
Mhm. I think that's the main key here is the scale, and the internet allowed us to do the same thing. So somebody who was a scammer locally, as soon as they got hold of the internet, they could suddenly scam globally. And AI is just going to add a compounding effect to that to allow you to work at more speed, because you'll be able to deploy more copies of yourself, basically. So with things like what we just saw with the AI granny is basically deepfake technology. Not necessarily the face; they've just done that as a general kind of mock-up, but the voice is. It is deepfake technology. It's just being used in a different sense for a positive use. I think AI will allow much greater scale than the internet, which means more people will get scammed. So we do need more protections in place. And these might be AI protections like the AI granny that we just saw, as well as public education about this. Because I've heard people, now that AI tools are available which can mimic our voices so well, there's the potential scam, which is being called by a loved one who says, hey, I'm stuck in wherever, Thailand, can you send some money over? I'm traveling around the world, I need you to send some money. And it would be able to replicate your voice, it'd be able to replicate certain details, because it could scrape your social media profiles, for example. So what I've heard, which is a really clever idea, is it's useful to have a safe word, so that when you are talking to somebody who is a supposed loved one, you can say this word, which is, I don't know, eyeglasses or pineapple or whatever the word is, and that will be the identifier which says, okay, this is actually me. It's almost like spy stuff at this point, like having to prove you're the right person.
Yeah.
And I think
What's
that's a really
also
good idea.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting because I got
No.
excited. What's also good, apart from the safe word, is asking them to do something, like pick up a pen or stand up. Like if it was using video, like image deepfake as well, and voice, because there have been people who got scammed. If you remember, there was a report on a British company. They had a Singapore office, and
Yeah,
the CFO called someone from Singapore on Zoom, video, voice, and took a lot of money. I want to say $20 million, but something huge. It was a
there's a
huge
lot of money.
transfer.
So that could have been. It's bizarre that they did it by Zoom anyway. I'm sure that they didn't have more checks and balances in place, but so that could have been protected by saying, okay, can you stand up, or can you hold a newspaper, or can you wave a glass around like this? Because the deepfake wouldn't have been able to do that. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet it can't do it yet, but yeah, it has to be like the small scale, I guess, scammers, like they just be using existing technology, and existing technology right now, it can, like, the in terms of video, AI. Yeah, it's you could tell if it was AI.
I think that the main risk here are going to be, and this is why this campaign has been launched. The main risk is going to be older people who aren't used to this kind of technology, because this technology does seem like space age technology. And if you are not, if you're not watching a live right now about this, about AI, you wouldn't necessarily know this technology exists. So it'd be so easy to be fooled. So I think it's a protection of older generations is definitely what they're going for with this particular launch.
For sure. Yeah. We hear it all the time, right? Like my grandmother got scammed. And this happened, I remember when I was, again, when the internet became the internet, and I had my own PC and email address, maybe, in like grade school, high school. Um, you receive these emails from
Hmm.
like a prince
Hmm.
in like an African prince. And that's just about, and the biggest victims of those emails were also kind of like the older generation, and it's still happening today, but just with AI.
So those scams were around before the internet, though. Like the print
Oh yeah.
scam it used to be a letter that was sent, and it was just
Mm,
sent in bulk to as many people as possible. So we've always had these scams. They're confidence scams. They are just being updated for each new technology. And I think, I mean, I haven't seen the numbers on this, but presumably the scale is increasing because the ease of sending 50,000 emails compared to 50,000 letters is, I mean, it's so much easier. You could send 1 million emails. There's no difficulties there. And I think when the cost of the AI bots used to do this drop to a significant level, we are going to see a flood of this as well.
Cost is cheaper. Like imagine having to post letters. That's expensive. Your stamp, your
Especially in the UK,
yeah,
it's mad.
exactly, exactly. But then
'Cause
with like emails are so much cheaper now as well. So I remember when I was doing digital marketing work, I think it must have been like 0.2 or something pence. And now you could
oh, it's
scale
less than
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
0.000. It's 0.000 something something. Yeah, and if you set up your own email server, it costs like basically free. This has been something I'd love to get your opinion on this. I get sponsorships offers for my newsletter and my TikTok. A lot of them. So some of them are quite easy, and I say nope, I'm not interested. Like the AI girlfriends, I find that a little bit. It's not it. Okay, I find it a bit weird personally. It's fine if you're into that, no problem at all, but it doesn't really align with my values and my brand, so I don't do that. What's a bit harder though is I get people like I won't name any names, but basically companies allow you to replicate your voice or replicate your image and to create AI avatars of yourself. I haven't yet said yes to any of them. I think it's a very interesting use for the technology, but for the reason that we've just seen, I mean, it can be used for scamming as well as for creating content. So I haven't yet okayed any sponsorship opportunities from these particular companies. What do you think about that? Because it's been something I've been debating internally.
As a content creator, it's fantastic, right? Or if you were like, let's say, a consultant or a coach, if you replicated yourself and was able to scale, helping other people or spreading the kind of like the word of good AI and its positive impact, it's great. Now, however, deepfake is this one single AI use case that has more negative than positive use cases. Like 70% of deep fake kind of output is on kind of pornography, for example, which is
I'm
terrible.
surprised it's only 70%. I would
You-
assume it was 99%.
Probably, but this was a figure that I got last year when I was trying to solve deepfake because I was really passionate about it. Like there's so many female victims of deepfake, and I was thinking, like the implications if news were deepfake, and they were put in, and there already are in social media or in actual
Yep.
TV shows. Like you could literally hack a TV network, put a deepfake version of the news, and spur some sort of like digital like global calamity.
So I'm
So
surprised we didn't see more of that with the election. I assumed we were going to get a lot more, and the fact that it wasn't a big news story, I was genuinely surprised about. I think it will be in the future, but it wasn't this time.
there was a lot on TikTok, but you could still tell like there were a lot of like people who would analyze videos and see if it was deepfake or not. I mean, there were probably some that we didn't even realize. But
That's true. That's the scary thing. If we didn't know.
exactly. So when it comes to this technology, it does excite me. I think it's very cool. But if you think about the use cases and like what actually has it done, specifically deepfake technology, there's just not enough good reasons to do it. But from a content creator perspective, imagine if you were a consultant and you use that technology to train more people about AI or like whatever your subject matter expertise is. That's a really positive use case as well.
But I suppose the number of people who are content creators compared to the number of people who are content consumers or using it for more nefarious means is always going to be lower. So it's always going to be a niche use case. It's going to be much, 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 much smaller than people using it for, as you say, pornography. I hope we don't get banned on TikTok for saying that word.
It's a word, and it's a real world. It's a problem that people should be talking about and trying to solve.
Yeah. So, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say there are a lot of creator. What are they called? Creator houses, or like all these creator platforms, banking on a hypothesis that everyone's gonna become a creator one day. Like everyone's gonna be some sort of creator participating in a space. So yeah, maybe in the future it won't be that number would change, or that ratio would change.
I mean, that was always the promise of something like social media, was that everybody would have their own platform, everyone would be a creator. I think the economics or the mathematics of that just don't stack up, though, because we will the more people create, the more noise there will be, and the less attention there will be for each individual creator. So if everybody on the platform, like how many millions of people are on TikTok, for example, I'm sure that a very small percentage, probably a single percentage, actually push out content, and the rest will be consumers. I think the platforms kind of rely on that for their economics, because they are basically advertising platforms. I think also the discovery and the way the algorithm would work, I don't know how it would work. If everybody was creating the same amount of content, it would just be so chaotic, so noisy. I think it's fantastic when people do create. I just think there will always be, and there have historically always been, more consumers than creators. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it takes less work to sit and flick through TikTok. Last night, I was doing exactly this. I was just sitting there flicking through TikTok, and I thought to myself, I should probably shoot a TikTok video instead of just looking at these things. But I didn't, because it's so much easier just to more passively consume. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think there's always just going to be that mismatch. I think the creator houses, people who are saying, hey, we should all be creators, of course they're going to say that. It's very much in their favor, because they want you to join their creator house. They want to sell services to you.
That is true. It's the same with AI. Or our platform. So our vision of the world is that everyone's going to be a startup. And what we want to go against is the idea that everyone's just going to consume from a player or a set of players that are going to monopolize a space. So my vision is that everyone gets to have a say in how the technology is going to evolve, and would be able to future-proof their kind of like lives by building their own AI capabilities that could plug in an ecosystem or marketplace.
And I'm aligned with this as well, because I started my first online business maybe 15 years ago, and I had to do absolutely everything myself. I had to code the website, build the product, do the customer service, do the marketing, absolutely everything. That's what excites me about AI, is that we now have these hyper intelligent assistants that we can draw on. So you're not necessarily having to hire expensive freelancers, which is hard when you're first starting a business. You are not necessarily having to learn all those skills yourself, but instead you have this suite of tools, a suite of AI personas, assistants who can help you with that. And I think we're both very excited about this and what that can do to entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. And I'm only beginning my kind of like creator journey, but I wonder if there's also something around that. Maybe the output is the data. I don't know. This is a wild hypothesis, where everyone is a creator and will have to sell online. Like I'm seeing a lot of sellers online who are making it big. They're talking about the income they're generating by selling on TikTok, for example. That could be the version of this creator where everyone is a creator, everyone's selling online. I don't know. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy time. I think starting a business right now is probably the easiest it's ever been, and I say this as somebody who started over 30 businesses. To be fair, I'm a little biased because of all those businesses, because of all those failures and successes, I've got better at starting businesses, I hope. But still, when I work with students, when I work with people now, the speed at which we can deploy stuff, like we need a website or we need, sales copy for a page, because we can draw on AI, we can just do it so much faster than before. Because previously it'd be like, okay, we need some long form sales copy for your landing page. go away and I'll see you in a week, or go and hire this person. They're good. They're like $2,000, but they'll get the job done. But now we can just hop onto Claude, we can hop onto ChatGPT, we can generate the copy, at least the first
10 minutes.
The first version. Yeah, if that, we can give it templates if we want, or we can just do it from scratch, have that copy, get that on the website, and then get rolling. Just the speed at which we can move now and start a business is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's insane. You can be a single person can be a content house for 10 clients. You know, if you've got your system rolling, it's gonna be it's amazing.
This is why I actually shut down my digital marketing agency, because I saw the writing on the wall for that. I was like, oh gosh, this is going to get really busy really soon. But I think, yeah, no, you're right. If that is something that you are interested in doing, in creating content for other people, be it TikTok, be it LinkedIn, be it, I mean, it can be video nowadays. There's also a massive opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. And we're seeing people doing that on our platform right now, becoming content agencies, marketing agencies, consultants,
What kind of
just
stuff? Can you
building.
talk about it without, you don't need to give their names or anything, but what kind of stuff are they doing?
They are doing, for example, they do a lot of content so they're a marketing agency and they specialize in building kind of like SEO driven content for their clients' websites. And so
Okay.
they're publishing, like, let's say they're churning 300 blogs per month for each of their clients, landing page copy, ebooks for their clients, using different language models, producing the content that their clients need. We've got people building newsletter agencies as well, like building newsletter content for their clients. Pretty much building editorial teams with LLMs.
Which about a year ago I don't think would have been possible, because the models weren't quite there yet. So for me personally, it was Claude 3.5, that kind of Sonnet 3.5, excuse me. That was like, okay, wow, this can really write. So prior to that, I was never that impressed with the written quality. ChatGPT sounded like ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT still arguably sounds a bit like ChatGPT, and people kind of recognize it. But I found with the release of Claude Sonnet 3.5 that suddenly it's like, oh, wow, okay, this can really write. This can write blog articles. This can write newsletters, and it will sound what I want it to sound like. And for anyone who hasn't tried Claude, I'm very bullish on Claude. I'm always bullying people to go and try
Use it. Yeah.
It's really good. Somebody asked me the other day, it's like, why do you think it's better? It's so hard to define. It's quite subjective at that point, in the same way that reviewing the writing of two people and being able to say, oh, this is a better piece of writing. It's, yes, obviously there's, the grammar and spelling and stuff like that, but there's also going to be a subjective, I like this more, which is just, it's harder to define than I think a lot of these AI tests can show, because they give us a number, like this is how good it is at reasoning, or this is how good it is at verbal comprehension, but that doesn't really capture the, oh, okay, this sounds very human aspect, which I think Claude has.
Yeah, my experience was slightly different. So I've been using ChatGPT, but then I ran into character AI. Claude wasn't even there yet, but character AI was. I think Claude just kind of was released. But what character AI showed me is that it can be very, it can emulate a character. Like it was very good at copying someone's language, tone of voice, vocabulary. So that was like, this is insane. And like my nephew and their friends, I know there was that incident recently that was terrible, but
Yes.
when I saw character AI, I was like, oh my gosh, this is, like it can really emulate a tone of voice, like Dumbledore, for example, or Harry Potter. And it could answer
character AI
questions.
is fascinating because it's one of the largest AI companies. I'm just trying to find it. So
It was the second largest after ChatGPT, before Claude. Yeah.
Oh, before Claude. Yeah. And it's making absolute bank. Here we go. It's character. So this is 2023. So more than a year ago, it is valued at 1 billion. As of January 2024, it had 3.5 million daily visitors. Yeah, it's an AI that in the AI space, we don't actually talk about a huge amount, but it's an AI that actual people are using, younger people generally are using on a daily basis. And yes, there have been some controversies, as you say, but I think it's an area of AI that we are, as you know, AI professionals, kind of ignoring, and I don't think we should, because this is what the younger generations are using. Just in
Absolutely.
huge amount. So you said your nephews are using it, so I'm assuming
Yeah,
they're younger.
my nephew was using it, and I discovered it separately. And me and my nephew, I always share with him kind of like the latest tech. Like I'm trying to influence him to go to that field.
You're a nerd auntie. You're
Yeah.
like,
Oh, check this out. But anyway, last year when I
ooh.
found out character AI, they already had the function to customize it. So you could build your own custom character AI based on the tone of voice. Like what I did was I would upload my WhatsApp history, and this is what I tried doing in character AI. I uploaded my WhatsApp history, turned it into like some sort of example of my tone of voice, how I talk naturally, and I started training this character AI actually. So they already had that technology and capability. They already had that thought.
Was that a built-in integration with
Yeah,
WhatsApp?
with
You do
with
data dump. It was an
oh
integration.
no, no. You basically download a chat in WhatsApp, and then you
Okay,
could, and then I basically turned it into text and uploaded it in the character AI platform.
so this was you nerding out and pushing
Yeah,
its
I
limits.
was.
Okay, so I thought that was a native integration, which would
No,
be
no, no.
powerful. Okay.
Oh, you could do that now, by the way. There's a through Zapier. But anyway.
No. You can do that now through Zapier. Remember, most people aren't going to get a data dump of their WhatsApp and zap it over to character AI. But
I'm not.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not sure about character AI, but you could do it via, like, for example, API assistant and then
Mhm.
WhatsApp, and you could basically respond to WhatsApp messages, but you have to have a business account, a WhatsApp business account.
On
Yeah.
WhatsApp. Okay, very cool. Cool. Okay, that is our half an hour. So we didn't get to your news story. What did you bring? We haven't been very good at doing two, have we?
No, well, we can talk about it tomorrow if that nothing happens today. But I wanted to talk about Elon Musk getting, I think, 6 billion in investment to get NVIDIA chips. I think there's a
Yes,
race to buying NVIDIA chips right now, which I find interesting.
before the tariffs kicking, potentially.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And also, like, what are the implications of that Trump win? Because Elon Musk was a supporter. So what does that mean for his company X and kind of like his AI as well, Grok?
Well, he's also got
Um,
lawsuits against OpenAI, and now Microsoft have been named a defendant. So it's going to be an interesting year.
Very interesting, effective people are saying that effectively he's like now the vice president
Okay,
of the country. So
let's tackle that tomorrow. That's a big one, though. See, I bring an AI granny. I bring something fun. You're like, okay, let's look at the geopolitical situation and how a tariff's going to affect AI. And I've just got the stupid little granny, but okay, fine. Show off.
no,
Let's
but
do
it's
that tomorrow.
important. It's important for people to understand.
It is. Okay, I'm going to actually have to do some reading on this one because it's a big topic. Okay, cool. Let's finish up for today. Thank you everyone ever so much. Again, we are live on TikTok every morning at 9 a.m. London time. We're also live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. All at the same time. It's all simultaneous. That's why I keep looking back and forward. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, I'm not just staring off into space. We are live on 5 or 6 different platforms at the same time. The purpose of this show is primarily it's just a casual coffee chat where Shannon and myself hop on, we read the news, we go through some stories that we think are interesting. It's meant to be casual. I think tomorrow when we talk about the geopolitical situation, it might be less casual. That's fine. We'll tackle news stories as they come, as and when. And the whole purpose is it's like you're sitting down with two friends, having coffee in the morning and chatting about AI and what's going on. So hopefully it's been a useful show. Shen, do you want to do any plugs at the end?
Yeah, whatever channel you're in, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, please follow me as well. On TikTok, I am Shen and AI, and in most platforms, YouTube as well.
And my plug is I'm giving a webinar on Thursday where I talk about how you go and give workshops to businesses and how you can get paid very well for doing so. I'll be talking about how you can begin that journey. So it's on Thursday, 6 p.m. London time. Recordings are available if you are not available, if you're not around at that particular time. And you can find the link in my bio. It should be the first button there, and that will allow you to register for the webinar. Oh, and it's a free webinar, of course. And great, thank you so much, and we will see you all tomorrow, where we are unpacking the future of 2025. And seriously, I need to do some reading because it's not something I know enough about.
Yeah.
So I will prepare. I'll do my homework.
Thanks, Kyle.
Great.
All right.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to be ending all the streams. You're going to be seeing me poke different things.